of core to do, just a little bit. I like to make sure to add that just a little bit thing, because that way no one gets too panicky at having to build heat. So, all right, let's come to a comfortable seat. And the thing that I find about focusing on the core, and by focusing on the core, again, I don't mean doing lots of crunches or anything like that, because I actually think that crunches are not the best core work. But by focusing on the core and focusing on the core strength, there's this element of understanding what's going on in the entire body that happens by a strong core being created. And that strong core stretches not just from the abdominal muscles themselves, but it stretches up the back, into the glutes, into the quads even. So you have some hip flexors and some quads and hamstring muscles that are impacted by making a strong core. And so if you think of it going pretty high up the body and pretty low down the body, that's a huge part of the body that creating a strong core is going to benefit. And a strong core often helps us to have less back pain, often helps us to be able to do something hard from the core as opposed to from other muscle groups. So as you move your sitting bones, create a nice tall spine, tilt your pelvis so that your belly is coming forward. Take your fingers to your low ribs, and as you exhale, hug in with the ribs. Think of cinching them together. Inhale, lift up through the front, lengthening more. Exhale, engage through the ribs. Rest your hands down with your eyes closed. Take a moment for some full breaths in and out of your nose, tuning into that activation of the core. The exhales naturally help us to activate the core, but even more core strength is developed when we practice keeping the activation through the inhale. So now inhale, lengthen. Exhale, engage, low belly and ribs this time. Keep it engaged as you inhale. Exhale, engage. Inhale, keep it engaged. One more time this way. Exhale, engage. And inhale, keep it engaged. And then exhale, release the engagement. Take a couple big deep breaths, just letting yourself feel the tone and the sensations from creating that tone. Hands come together at heart center, gently press palms. Lift shoulders up and back, and then bow toward your heart, honoring yourself for taking the time for some awareness. As you softly open your eyes, release your hands down, lift up through your sides, lift up through your shoulders, take a couple of movements side to side with your head, just checking out what's going on with the head and neck, tops of shoulders, ear to shoulder, ear to shoulder. A little shake of the head, no. And nod the head, yes. And then back into center now. Hands work out to your knees. And as you exhale, draw your right shoulder forward, your left shoulder back, starting to take this gentle twist. Lift up through your sides and your heart space. Exhale, low ribs draw in to help you twist a tiny bit more. Inhale, come back into center. And exhale, let's draw left shoulder forward, right shoulder back. Inhale, sides get long. Exhale, low ribs in to help you twist a little bit more. Inhale, come back into center. Exhale, right shoulder forward, left shoulder back. And this time, if you want to, you can reach across, adding that little bit of extra twist to it. Take an inhale, grow longer through your spine. Exhale, let the twist happen from the low ribs, from the top of the core. Inhale, come back into center. Exhale, left shoulder forward, right shoulder back. And again, if you want, add that extra twist here. Drawing left hand across to your right knee or thigh. Right fingertips behind you. Lengthen your sides. Exhale, low ribs in to help you twist. Inhale, come back into center. Bring hands behind your back to clasp. Press palms together. And as you press palms, start to lift up and open through the shoulders, a little bit of heart opening here. Take a big inhale, lift up more through your front ribs. Exhale, engage the front ribs, drawing them in toward each other, engaging the top of the core. Inhale, heart lifts, and exhale, engage. And then release your hands. Hands come out in front to clasp. We'll go in the opposite direction. Pull forward, round back through your upper back. Chin tucks in, and then add that bit of movement side to side here. Getting deeper into the low back for some stretching and lengthening. In particular, maybe noticing your lats. Then inhale back up to center and switch the cross of your legs, coming to the less comfortable cross for yourself. Shift your sitting bones. Bring hands to your upper thighs and press as you lengthen your sides. Lift shoulders up and back, and then turn your head over to the left side, tuck your chin down. Keep your right shoulder blade engaging onto your back. Take a full big breath here. Root down with your hands, even as you let your sides get longer. Inhale back up to center with your head. Exhale over to the right side and tuck your chin down. Left shoulder blade re-engages onto your back. You're still pressing onto your upper thighs, giving yourself that lengthening position where you're rooting down to rise up. Inhale back into center. Hands walk out to your knees. Exhale, press back through your spine, coming into this cat-like pose. Then we'll start to move in some circles. Inhale, ribs move out to the left. Circle all the way around the front, and exhale back on the right with the ribs. Inhale, circle around, and exhale, draw back. One more time here. Then on the next inhale, circle around to the right side and back on the left. Full deep inhale to circle around. Long deep exhale to draw back. One more big breath. Then inhale, sit tall, shift forward onto your hands and your knees. And from hands and knees, set yourself up. Wrists under shoulders, knees under hips. And as you press palms down, rotate elbow pits forward. Keep that expansion into the upper back here. And then before you lift up into down dog, push again and lift your low ribs up into your back body. As you lift your low ribs, that doesn't mean create a lift through the low back, but think of that mid-back area lifting up. Then tuck toes, lift hips. Try to keep that expansion into the back body as you come to down dog. Tendency here is to collapse downward through the shoulders and to collapse the ribs down, but instead stay lifted into the back. Sway your hips a little side to side, get longer from hip to armpit. Then as you come back into center, rise to tiptoes, lift your sitting bones up high, and walk your way forward, coming into your forward fold at the front of your mat. Take an inhale and lengthen part way, long spine. Exhale and fold over your legs. Hands to hips, press back on hips, lift up and open through shoulders first, and rise all the way up to stand. And as you come up to stand, set feet inner hip distance apart and parallel. Lift and spread your toes, fire them up, and then root them down. And now hands come behind your back to clasp again. As you press palms, hug elbows back, keeping wrists and elbows unlocked. Start to lift up through your front, lift up through your chest. Heart opening here. Engage the low belly and low ribs to support the back body. Big inhale, heart opens. And exhale, release your hands. Bring your fingertips out in front of you into ballerina arms here. Elbows are lifted to shoulder height. Push fingertips together. Take a big exhale, and from low ribs up, expand into cat pose. Chin tucks down. Take a couple big breaths here into that space in between your shoulder blades. Inhale, rise back up. Turn your palms open here. Mountain pose, expanding through the chest. Full breath. Inhale, stretch up overhead. Exhale, hinge from the hips and fold, bending the knees. Inhale, lengthen part way, extend your heart forward. Exhale and fold. As you plant fingertips and step right foot back into your lunge, pause and center with your hips, drawing your left hip crease back in space, and then extend your heart forward. Take a big deep breath here. And now turn and plant your back heel so your foot is parallel to the back of your mat. And then bring left elbow to your knee, right hand to your hip, coming into this side angle pose variation. Bending into your front knee and opening the knee up toward the pinky toe edge. Turn your belly and your heart open to the right. As you push down through your elbow into your thigh or your knee, think of lifting your ribs upward. Then reach straight up with your top arm, so now you're reaching in both directions. Push through your feet and your elbow, reach through your top hand. Take another big deep breath right here. Exhale, both hands come down to the front of your mat. Tuck your back toes and step back into a down dog. And this is where you can make a choice. You can stay in down dog. You can come down to your knees and take a child's pose. Or if you want to, you can inhale, come forward to a plank. Maybe use knees on the ground here, that's up to you. Rotate elbow pits forward and push. And then extend your front. Keep tone through the low belly and the low ribs, even as you bend your elbows and lower down. And then from this position, from your belly on the ground, reach back with one leg at a time, and then root, tops of feet down. And now, take your hands out to the side so that you're coming to spider fingers wider than your mat, and think of stacking wrists underneath your elbows. From this place, root down with tops of feet and knees. Engage the low belly. Take a big exhale, draw the low ribs in. Now, as you push your fingertips down, before you lift up anywhere, lift your shoulders up and back. Exhale, low belly, low ribs in. Inhale, now lift your chest. Lift your neck and head in line with the rest of your spine as you open. Exhale, low ribs in. Inhale, open up even more. Maybe lift your chest higher. Exhale, lower all the way back down. Take your head to your hands, bend your knees, and sway legs side to side. A little bit of windshield wiper-ing here. And then release your legs down, hands underneath your shoulders to push through hands and knees to downward facing dog pose, and take a big breath. Walking your way forward, coming into your forward fold at the front of your mat. Take an inhale and lengthen part way. Exhale and fold over your legs. Hands to hips, press back on hips, lift shoulders up and open, and rise all the way up to stand. And as you come up to stand, now take fists to your low back, and you're gonna press down on the tops of your glutes. A little massage downward onto your glutes here. A little bend to your knees, root down with your toes, and now rotate inner thighs in, back, and broad, so your butt's sticking back a little bit. Then engage low glutes and low belly, pull them in. And now engage the low ribs, pull them in. Inhale, lift up and open through your chest. Hug elbows back, shoulder blades are engaging. Exhale, engage through the core. Inhale, lift your chest higher. Exhale, re-engage the core. Keep that engagement. Inhale, lift your chest higher. Exhale, core engagement. Inhale, rise all the way back up. Turn your palms open, expanding and lifting through the chest. Close your eyes here if you'd like. Take a full deep breath and tune into what's present in your body right now. Inhale, stretch up overhead. Exhale, bend to knees to fold over your legs. Inhale and lengthen part way. Exhale and fold. And now plant fingertips. We're gonna step left foot back, taking the second side of our side angle pose. Pause with your toes tucked under behind you in this lunging position to center with your hips. And as you draw your right hip back in space and bend deeper into your front knee, think of that action as the same when you open up here. So now turn and plant your back heel so that your foot is parallel to the back of your mat. And then set right elbow to your knee, left hand to your hip. And as you turn, open with your right knee, bend deeper into it. Keep that and turn your belly and your heart more open toward the left side. As you push down with your elbow, think of lifting your ribs. And then stretch, top arm straight up. And again, we get to push down and reach up at the same time. And as you do that, you might feel a little bit more lift through the hips and the ribs. One more big breath. Exhale, both hands come down to the front of your mat. You're tucking your back toes and stepping all the way back into a downward facing dog pose. Full big breath. And this time, lower knees down, hips to heels, take a child's pose, and shift a little bit side to side through the hips. Let your head rest down. Take a couple big breaths. And now inhale, come forward into your plank. And we're gonna do one more core related heart opener here. So come all the way down onto your belly. And from this place, we're gonna do a little bit of pulsing. And that pulsing, as we move with our breath, we're gonna try to keep the engagement of our core even as we inhale, okay? So setting ourselves up, reach back with one leg at a time, and then root down through tops of feet and knees, and then find that big exhale to help you engage low belly, low ribs. Hands right underneath your shoulders, hug in with the muscles of your legs. As you inhale, lift legs and lift hands up off of the ground, and if at any point in time you need to set them back down, feel free. Take a big exhale, engage the low belly and low ribs. Inhale, lift up higher. Exhale, as you lower a little bit, you're staying engaged. Inhale, keep that engagement as you lift up higher. Exhale, lower a little bit to re-engage. Inhale, stay engaged to rise up. Good, we have about 3 more at your own pace with your own breath. Remember, the exhales help you lower and re-engage. The inhales help you to lift up. Exhale and inhale. Good, one more. And then exhale all the way back down. Again, you can rest your head on your hands here if you want, bend your knees, and windshield wiper. Check out how your back body feels. If you have any tension here, make mental note of it. And then push all the way back into your child's pose. Hips as far back as your body needs. Maybe find that little bit of movement and sway. And then we'll inhale to our hands and knees, and then we'll bring hips to the side and then legs out in front. So you're coming all the way down to your seat. And from this place, we're going to do One of my favorite versions of forward fold, I'm going to turn sideways so you can see. Grab whatever you have for a prop. It can be a pillow or bolster. It can be a block. And we're going to set our heels on that prop. And so as you bring your heels up to your prop, bringing your heels up allows for some people to be able to tilt your pelvis a little bit more forward, belly towards your legs. So move sitting bones back and broad. Push your heels down and now drag them back isometrically so they don't actually move. And as you do that, intend on tilting your pelvis, belly forward. Might not move far, that's okay. Press fingertips down beside you, lift your chest up high. Stay pressing down with the heels and pulling back. And then hinge at the hips and take as deep a fold here as your body needs. You might reach for your feet. You might have hands on the floor or hands at shins. You decide where that is. Take a big inhale and lengthen more. Exhale, maybe hinge and fold a little deeper. Maybe rise up out of it. Both are options. Take a deep breath. Use your breath to help you pulse here. Maybe it's just pulsing right where you are. Maybe it's pulsing so that you're deepening or coming out of it. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale to go in the direction you need to go. One more big breath. Inhale, rise all the way back up. And now soles of feet together. Knees open wide. And you can pull feet in as close as your body needs here. That might be more of a diamond shape with the legs. That might be really close. Entirely depends on what's going on through your pelvis. Tilting belly towards your legs here. And hold on your toes, on your shins, behind you, wherever you need. But then inch your feet a little closer together. And then reach out to the sides with your thighs and knees. Take a big, deep inhale and sit taller. Exhale. If you have a little fold in you, you're welcome to go there. If that just makes your low back round back, then stay lifted. Big breath. Good, and then gently rise all the way back up if you're folded. Footprints to the floor, and now we're gonna lay all the way onto our backs. And from your back, knees draw in towards your chest. And you might have knees wide, you might have knees narrow. It really depends on what feels the best in your body. And then rock a little bit side to side. And now knees open wide here, feet are flexed, and then draw knees forward and back. So keep knees wide, move them toward the foot of your mat and then the head of your mat. A few times, letting that tilt of your pelvis happen. And now you're going to keep the right knee open, set your left foot on the ground so your knee is upright, and then aim your right foot upright. Holding on with your right hand on the outside of your shin, around the back side of your thigh, or maybe you reach and hold the outside of your foot. Really depends on what's going on with your pelvis here. So tilt sitting bones down, trying to create a lift of the low back. And then open the left knee up to the left side, flexing the left foot, coming to the pinky toe edge. And from that place, a little resistance with your right leg. So pull down with your hand and push back with your leg or foot. Sometimes that helps create more of a tilt of the pelvis. Full big deep breath. One more big breath right here. And now bring both knees back in towards your chest. And again, that can be wide here or narrow, your choice. Rock a little side to side. And now right foot comes to the ground, left knee opens up, and then aim your left foot toward the ceiling. And then you're holding on where you need to be able to tilt your pelvis so that sitting bones are trying to move down. And then open the right knee up to the right side, rocking to the pinky edge. As you pull down with your left hand and push back with your left leg, retilt your pelvis so your sitting bones are moving down. Take a big breath with that tilt of the pelvis. Good. 2 more really big breaths here. And then gently set both feet on the ground. Drop your knees in together to touch. You're going to start to move into your most comfortable resting pose, your Shavasana. And if you would still like a little bit more heart opening here, feel free to grab your bolster for underneath your spine so that your chest can open around it, shoulders open up, but find what feels the best in your body. Take the time to set up well. And if you have any tension through the low back, then that prop underneath your legs is always a nice thing to do for yourself. As you take your deep breaths here, letting yourself check in and tune in to what's present. Notice if there's anything that feels more settled in your body, or if you have some more tension. Give yourself permission to let go of any work you're doing. Begin to take a deeper breath. And gently add a little movement into fingers and into toes. And slowly bend your knees and make your way over to your side. And then gently press yourself back up to your seat. And with hands coming together at heart center, eyes closed if comfortable, take a couple more big deep breaths, letting yourself be with whatever's present in your body. Have a very peaceful, beautiful day. Namaste.